This episode contains discussions of domestic violence. If this raises any issues for you, support is available through the links and phone numbers in the show notes.
I just don't accept what's not acceptable to me. I have limits and boundaries. They're pretty firm, they're pretty strong, and I'll walk away. Like I won't make a fuss, but I will just walk away from things, and I've had to do that a few times.
Hello and welcome to The Heart of It. We would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to the elders both past and present.
What a great chat.
I know. So
MasterChefers, those fans, I know there are millions of MasterChef fans.
Yes.
Are going to love this chat.
She's
with
a fan
Steph De
favourite,
Sousa.
actually.
She is, right?
She is. She's very beloved. She's the author of 2 best-selling cookbooks, launching the new cookbook, I should say, Easy Dinner Queen, that's coming out. She's a TV host, a media personality, and a frugal foodie, which she does talk about as well, like how she loves to cook and where she came from and where she was inspired by.
And she's joined by her husband, Neville, who, what an interesting fellow.
So
Actually,
interesting.
when people say interesting, what an interesting fellow. Kind of.
He is.
But he really is a curious
and lovely.
guy.
Such a warm energy, I found. I found myself feeling very calm around him, which is part of what his job is.
Well, it is, and I loved that what they were talking about was opposites attract.
Yes.
There's some things in here in this chat I think you are going to enjoy because there's some different ways of thinking about stuff.
Indeed.
And it's really great chat.
We go back in time. We come to current days. We
Yes.
talk about their kids.
Indeed.
Lots of info. We loved this chat.
Steph De Sousa and husband Neville, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Neville,
Yes,
are you okay?
I am.
This
This
is
is my
your
first
first-
time.
Yeah!
Yes.
It's a
So,
little
deer in
out
the
of his
headlights.
comfort zone. A little bit out of his comfort zone.
We are diving into the heart of things today.
Well, firstly, thank you
Welcome.
for sort of trusting us to be your first podcast. That's very kind
Oh,
of you.
I didn't have a choice in this.
So did you know? Did you know?
Not really.
I got told about a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he didn't really know. I said, we're going to do this thing.
Yeah.
I didn't bother sending him a link to the podcast or anything. I just
We'll
went,
make
we'll
it
just turn up.
painless.
Yeah.
Promise.
I have trouble keeping up with her socials.
Yes. No doubt.
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't look at them.
Is that because you're looking at other things or because you're just not interested?
No, it's not that I'm not interested. I am a nerd, so I watch nerdy things.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, what's your definition of nerd and what do you watch?
I work in IT at the University of Newcastle, and I watch a lot of YouTube things about Microsoft data products.
Wow.
So there you go. I'm a nerd.
I love that.
We're actually complete opposites. It's
Yeah.
quite it's
Yeah.
quite
I do
funny.
love food and wine, though.
Yeah. We have that in common, but as far as, what we do and personalities and all that kind of stuff, we're opposite.
Well, we'll start with the easy question first. How did you two meet?
Over to you.
That's a cop out. We were just introduced by a friend of a friend at a party. It was like a not very interesting introduction, but it spiraled very rapidly, didn't it?
did,
Like,
yeah.
I think I told Neville I loved him on the first night.
Did you?
Why he didn't run is
did.
beyond me.
She did, rather.
But I did. I did.
What? Why?
I don't know. It just it
How?
was just it
I gave off
actually just
vibes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just came out of my mouth. I think it shocked me as much as it shocked him, but it just came out of my mouth. It was just weird. It was obviously was there. Within 3 months, he'd moved states.
So we met in Sydney.
yeah.
And then I was living Kingsgrove, I think. And within 3 months,
I was living in Tassie.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
actually 5 months, I moved to Tassie.
Yeah.
So
got
you
no
were
job.
living it. So were you a bit lonely in Tassie? Is that why it came out on the
Oh
first
no, I had
night?
3 kids already, but I
you
wasn't
did?
lonely. No, not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, not with
Yeah,
3 kids.
yeah. I was divorced, fairly recently divorced, and just single mum at home with my 3 kids, and seriously, I don't know where it came from, but it's worked because that was, 20 years ago now. So I
Okay.
was right.
Oh, I love
But that's kind of me, though. Like, I'm pretty of a spur of the moment kind of
Yes.
risk
You
are.
taker
And
kind
when
of
you know, you
person.
know.
Yeah, I think so.
Neville, for you, when did you know with Steph? When did you?
Not on the first day.
You love me? You don't even know me.
Me, exactly. I think it was a couple of months in, and I said, well, there's nothing holding me back in Sydney. So I left my job. Well, I actually got a job in Tassie before I left Sydney. And then, made the move. And here we are.
Yeah.
Actually, it was 23 years, actually.
Oh, really? There you go.
And how many years in Tassie together?
8, was it?
Yeah, about
Yeah, I
8.
think about
And
8.
then to Newcastle?
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
moved to
Okay,
Newcastle.
why Newcastle?
Well, we wanted to move away from like a few things, but also the cold. Nev's got 2 brothers in Sydney, and so we didn't want to live here that close to them. And my family are on the Gold Coast, so it was kind of like a bit of a nice middle
In
ground.
between, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big city. Yeah,
I think Newcastle's fab.
yeah, it's great.
It is.
and
I
it's
love
really
it.
growing up, which
Isn't
is
it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's close to Sydney. So for us, we come to Sydney, make use of it, so to speak, and then we can escape.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm probably down here a couple of times a week for work now, and that's achievable as well.
But trains, planes, cars, the roads are so much better now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's so accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like driving to the Gold Coast now,
Yeah.
it's like 7 hours. It's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
anymore.
that's right.
Yeah. I think when we first
Like-
moved here, it was like 10 and a half. So it's amazing how much it's changed in that
7
10, 11
episodes
years.
of The Heart of It.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that's
Done.
it.
Yeah.
Just,
And
just
they go and
binge
they-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just go on your voice. Ali just takes you wherever.
So your 3 older kids, are they still in Tassie or did they move?
No,
with
they
you?
were little when we
they were
moved
little,
up here. Or not really little, but
2 are teenagers.
yeah, 2 were just
But early
teenagers
teens.
and one was in his second last year of primary school or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they came with us, but our 2 biggest ones now live in Darwin.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Like, could you get any further away from your
Yeah.
parents, really?
Yeah, you can move to a different country.
Yeah, well, you can. This is
Darwin's
very
still
Well, you may
still
as
connected,
well.
and it's so beautiful up
It
there
is.
too.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. And one's in Lake Macquarie, and Noah, our baby, is still at home.
Is he 10?
No,
He's
he's 16,
16.
nearly 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
HSC or year 11?
Oh,
Yeah,
Year
11.
11.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Are any of them foodies?
Oh, they all love food. Yeah,
They know the
they're
difference
all-
between good and bad
Yeah,
food.
they-
But
yeah.
they still like junk food.
Yeah. No, they are
Don't we
foodies
all?
and they all cook really well. Noah, our youngest, he works in an Italian restaurant, has since he was 13, and he's now the pizza cook. So he throws the dough in the air, and he's only
That's
16.
only been recently.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, really cool.
Have you got a pizza oven at home?
No, we
We
live in a
used
unit
to.
now. We used
Okay.
to have
Yeah,
one in
so,
our house. Yeah,
Steph and I, in Tassie, we built our own pizza oven.
yeah.
And then in our first place here,
In Newcastle, we built
Yeah.
another one. Yeah,
Ali and I went and saw a house the other day that we're looking to buy.
Yeah.
And they had a pizza oven in the front yard, sort of down below the road,
Yeah.
so it was out of the way. But it was in a courtyard.
Yeah.
And they clearly used it a lot because the aroma that was coming out of a cold
yeah.
pizza oven, it just smelt like a pizza box.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I was like,
It's almost enough to buy the house, right?
Yeah.
Pizza oven.
I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's
Is a pizza oven, is that something that wears off? Like the novelty wears off after
Not really.
a couple of shots? Or were you
we
consistent
didn't,
pizza
yeah.
users and
It
creators?
was our parties were always pizza parties, so and we were like really big entertainers. Always having people over for the weekends, and the pizza oven would always be lit. And it's such a social
Yeah.
thing, standing around the fire of the
Yeah,
pizza
true.
oven and communal eating, all those kinds of things. So yeah, it was always
and all weather.
I've got to get
yeah,
one.
and
other
all
than rain.
weather. Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, just
Maybe you
even,
should look at that house again.
Yeah.
so we can-
No, I think that's
Can
well
recommend.
beyond our reach. So tell us the engagement story, Neville.
The engagement story.
bad.
It's a
How'd
bad
you-
story.
bad.
It's a bad story. I'm
very
I'm not very
disappointing.
romantic.
Very
Oh,
disappointing.
dear. Did you go tech heavy on it?
No,
Like,
no.
write
It
a
was-
Microsoft
no, it's even worse
program?
than
No,
that.
no, God, no. It was at home. We actually went and bought the ring together.
Yeah, we did. We knew it
that's
was kind of happening.
happening.
Yeah, it
is.
was. It was-
And there was a work function.
Yeah, it was I think it was a wet Christmas party, or
I don't know,
something like
that.
For
And
you.
I just wanted to show off to the people at work that evening. So I did it at home in the kitchen
In front of
next
the
to
fridge.
the fridge.
Like it's like the least romantic story.
And then when I hear other stories, I'm thinking, oh,
I
Ned, you
really
suck.
stuffed up. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It was a bit disappointing.
No, listen now. We've told our story a few times, but it's pretty much along the lines of
really?
that one.
Oh,
There
really?
wasn't a fridge involved. So.
no.
There's a drowning brother in the background.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah, after we just had a fight.
Oh,
so,
yeah, nice. Yeah.
My last-ditch rescue attempt.
Look, there's been lots of other romantic things, but that
That's
wasn't
right.
one of them.
That's right. Yeah, you can't
Hey, I
get it
moved
right
to
all the
Tassie.
time.
Yeah, you
You
did.
moved-
Sorry.
Look, we both love Tasmania and
Yeah.
cannot wait to circumnavigate Tasmania in our soon-to-be caravan. Was it just great down there, living there? I mean, you did mention it was cold, but of course it's going to be cold.
Tassie is beautiful,
Yeah.
and it's a great place for a holiday.
Yeah.
But we just found it. We're just hibernating like 9 months of the year because it was just so cold. And Nev
Yeah.
really hates the cold coming from a really tropical
Coming
climate.
from Goa, where it doesn't really get below 19.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was
So-
really a shock for him.
Yeah. of
Yeah.
Yeah.
course.
And like we really wanted a better future for our kids. Like there's not a lot for them. There's not a lot of work. The university degrees are pretty restricted. So yeah, we really that's why we
it's
left.
time to
yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's great for young families.
And older people,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like the
Yeah.
best
Young
place to
families.
bring up your kids. Like honestly, so
Yes.
safe. The environment's amazing.
Fresh
You know,
air.
fresh air. And the food and wine is unbelievable.
See, that to me
Yeah.
is that's
You'll love that when you
And once
drive
they get
around.
their AFL team, the industry's going to fly.
All
The
that.
Tassie Devils.
They're their
That's-
own AFL as opposed to paying for one,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Richmond one.
The Hawks.
Oh, the
Oh,
Hawks.
sorry,
Yeah.
Hawks, not
Was it the
Richmond.
Hawks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawks and North Melbourne do play down there, don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Neville, I just want to get to know you a little bit more because you are a businessman, you're in the tech world. But I did see a mantra that you have that I really love. And you say it's dare to dream, dare to believe, dare to give, and dare to live. Where does that come from and what does that mean to you?
I think I had one too many wines when I came up with that.
There's a lot of daring.
It is.
No, I do get a bit creative when I've had a few wines. I think most people do.
It's the ingestion of spirit, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And throw in a couple of whiskeys.
Now you're talking.
Look, for me with work, I used to be quite reclusive way back when, and I seem to have come out of my shell work-wise, and I love creating communities at work.
Yeah.
So I might not be the most techie tech person. I still call myself a nerd. But if you don't dream big, there's no point moving on. For me, anyway. So, and that's where it came from. So I dream big and I dare to achieve and dare to believe.
Yeah.
And I am able to convey that message at work. So in the last few jobs that I've had, I have been able to be, I don't like the word evangelical, but it is evangelical to get people to follow you, so to speak, and work with
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
believe in what you believe for the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bosses must love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in the job, so I think that.
No, but businesses really need people like
Yeah.
that. They need someone to create that community and that cohesiveness.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a really important role. Do you apply that at home with the kids and with Steph, and does that sort of apply there as well?
Off and on. Off and on, because I do get super involved with my work, as in when I say at work and at home as well, probably a bit too much. But yeah, that's how I like to live.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Steph, you've spoken about food being an act of love. How does cooking play a role in your relationship?
I guess cooking is providing, ultimately. So it is always an act of love to feed your family and to feed them healthy, nutritious food that's delicious and that's hot and cared for, presented nicely. That's always, an act of love. I think it also keeps me sane, which is also an act of love for my family,
sure.
because if I'm doing something that I love to do, then I've got more to give back to them as well, I think.
Does it keep you connected to your grandmother? Because I know that's where you did a lot of your growing up and cooking with her, is that right?
Yeah. Look, especially this time of year at Easter time, I am particularly connected to her because we have this family tradition where we always cook her Easter hot cross bun recipe. So this time of year, I'm always particularly thinking of her. But I'm always just really thankful to have grown up in that environment where I was taught how to cook and how to love to cook, because she genuinely loved it as well. I mean, I don't actually remember much of her outside of the kitchen, you know. So, I think that's where I definitely got my love for, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah. I find I'm very much a scent person. Like that's what triggers my memory the most.
Yes.
So I would imagine like with the cooking and the smells, you know what I mean? It would take you straight back to that.
Absolutely it does. And also one thing that she was also a great gardener, and I always, whenever I smell freshly cut grass, I always think of her as well. That's kind of one thing that I always remember, when I think of her as well.
Was she growing her own veggies and herbs and things?
Yeah, absolutely. She had this beautiful veggie garden. Yeah, fruit, veggies, all that kind of stuff. But I think everybody did back then too.
Yes.
It wasn't an uncommon thing. Even where I grew up, we were almost completely self-sufficient as far as fruit, vegetables, meat were concerned.
Where was that?
Until I was 8, I grew up in northwest Tasmania at a place called Wynyard.
Right.
Yeah, and then we moved to Queensland after that. But my dad was a racing horse trainer, driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we sort of grew up on a farm with horses and all sorts of things.
That's really cool. Neville, where did you grow up? I mean, did you say Goa before? Did I hear?
Yes, in Goa. I was born in Mumbai. There for, I don't know, about 10 years, thereabouts. And then family packed up and moved to Goa. So in India, you tend to say that, I say I'm from Goa because you look at your ancestors and you say that's where you're from, even though you might be born somewhere else. But Dad wasn't a big fan of Mumbai, too busy, too crowded, too congested, etc. So we moved to Goa, and I finished my primary and high school there and moved to Australia in 94. Came here to study.
On your own?
Yeah, my older brother came here first, and then he moved back, and then I came here, by myself.
And never left.
I had to go back for a couple of years, but then, so essentially never left.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to
it.
Australia.
Thank you.
Many years ago.
Yeah, but he was from Goa.
Yeah.
It's like as you were saying that, it reminds me of Irish Americans. They often, they're 3 generations Americans, but they'll still say they're Irish.
Right. But I love saying that I'm Irish, and that's generations back. Because I love Ireland so much. I'm like, this is my Irish history. I'm Irish.
Oh, by the way, I just did some work with Ancestry.com, and one of my ancestors is from Ireland in a county that we drove through on our holiday, and I wish I'd known that at the time. But it was like 1700s or something.
Everyone's got an ancestor
They
from
sure do.
somewhere along the line.
They sure do. Can I just go back to you guys with your food and how much you love it, and as being an active love? When you're with the family and when you were growing up, did you ever have dinners around the TV, or was it always around a table?
I think it was at
with
the
kids,
dinner table.
when
Always at the
we're
dinner
all at
table.
home, always at the dinner table.
As we gotten older, gotten lazier and sit in front of the TV, but
there's
when
only
the kids
3
were
of us
little,
at home.
Yeah.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very
Same.
different.
And probably the teenagers doing a lot.
Oh my God,
in
he's
his
in his
room.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
same
He
a lot
really,
of grunting. And,
I'm glad you
We don't
said
wanna
that.
my goodness
It's
me.
just like a broad stroke, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
Boys,
it's
it's
wild.
like 15, 16, a lot of
Yeah,
grunting.
I know.
yeah. How are you
and
going?
A lot of, and a lot of in your bedroom
Yeah.
with the door closed.
Yeah.
absolutely.
We'll leave
But that's
that.
okay. But, yeah, exactly. But we always sat around the dinner table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. We always, that was our rule, wasn't it? That we had to sit at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Phones weren't allowed.
Your dog's
Yes,
fed,
yeah.
set the table, no
Yeah.
phones, let's
Yeah.
eat dinner.
Yeah.
and let's
Yeah.
have a chat.
Except for Friday nights. Friday
Yeah.
nights were a bit different.
Well,
yeah.
is that
Those in front-
takeout night for you guys too?
Yeah,
Is there-
always.
Yeah, right.
We'd go to Blockbuster and get 2 weeklies and a new release. And we'd get like Macca's Happy Meals and we'd set up a little picnic blanket on the floor in front of the telly.
Wow.
It was like so great. I so miss those days.
I know.
Blockbusters. That was a real time. I mean, walking the aisles of Blockbuster, you could be in there for an hour and a half.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it was like an outing,
Yeah.
like with the kids.
Yeah. Then you have to figure out whose choice it was.
Yes,
and
whose
it's
exactly.
turn for the
Yeah.
new release. Yeah.
Noah doesn't know what a videotape
He wouldn't
is.
even know what
No.
it is. Like he's 17, he wouldn't have
No.
a clue.
Has the relationship between you, has it changed or evolved over time with your success, Steph? I mean, maybe that's a question for you, Neville. I don't know, but you've had a lot of success. I mean, you've got 3 million followers across social media, and has it changed at all?
I think it's changed a lot because I guess up until about 6 years ago when I went on MasterChef the first time, and it was a conscious decision like that I was the primary carer. When we decided to have Noah together, I just said, look, I don't want to do this and work full time. Like that's the deal. If we're going to have a baby, I'm going to work part time and I want to really focus on him. And I did that up until that
MasterChef,
to MasterChef. And then in the recent couple of years, I guess my career has kind of not taken over, but it's equaled Neville's. So I guess our partnership is very different now to what it was before and busier. Like, you know, there's not as much time. And we're nearly empty nesters. Like, honestly, we're like so close to the end. So close to the end.
We're in the same position.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
really?
we
So
have
your
one
youngest-
of our kids is
Yeah.
at home now, and
Yep.
it's a very similar spot. And also with Ali's career as well, her busyness is really
It's
filled
really
up as
different,
well.
isn't it?
It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I've had to ask Steph to share her calendar with me just so I
Yeah.
know what's going on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm coming and going a lot too, whereas
Yeah.
Neville's like, you know, gets up in the morning, goes to work, comes home, whereas I'm like, could be anywhere at any
Yes.
particular time.
Yeah.
Do you travel a lot?
Yeah. Well, particularly to Sydney.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you stay connected when you're doing the travel?
FaceTime.
On the
Calls.
phone?
FaceTime,
Yeah.
phone, yeah. Because again, it's hard because Neville's job is so big as well. It's like
Yeah.
he can't just pack up and come with me, you
Yeah,
know, if we're
sure.
going away somewhere or something.
Well,
so
that's
that makes it
right.
a
I
bit
mean,
tricky.
I can work remotely, but most of the time I'm in the office 9 to
Yeah.
5.
You need to
Yeah.
be poking people and
Yeah,
reminding
pretty
them
much.
to dream big.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what he does. Yeah.
Come on, imagination.
Yeah. He tries to get people to come into the office. So we
Yeah,
can, in
yeah,
fact,
that's right.
poke
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Get them
yeah.
back into
Get
the
the
office
community.
around
Yeah.
people.
It's very
Yeah.
hard to have a community remotely.
Steph, you've been so brave and open and honest about past relationships, or relationship, I should say. That experience, did it shape the way that you love and receive now? Did it affect your relationship with Neville in any way, perhaps in the earlier days? Or
Oh, yeah. I remember having this conversation with a friend after Neville and I'd been together for, I don't know, maybe 2 years or something. It was a really good friend of both of ours. We were sitting having a coffee one morning. And I don't know, I was probably whinging about Nev for some reason. I don't know why. I can't remember what the context
one
was.
time,
but
Neville.
Whinge about.
No, not just one time,
just that
many
one
times.
time.
And I remember he said to me, "Oh my God, Steph, when are you going to stop making Neville jump through hoops to prove himself?" And it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me because I probably hadn't realised that that's kind of what I was doing either. So I was like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right. He's not like my ex was. It's very different, and I probably need to just move on maybe." And but it was really difficult for us to move on because my ex was in our life and causing trouble for a very, very long time, like right up until those kids were 18.
18, yeah.
Yeah, like it was.
He followed us here from Tassie.
Well,
to-
that's when I said there was a few reasons we left Tassie. That was one reason. We just went like, we just have to escape this. It was just relentless harassment. And I made the tough call to say, right, because we had 50-50 shared care. I made the tough call like, okay, your kids, you have to decide because I can't live like this. And it was a really tough call to make, but I just knew that I couldn't. And I had Noah, who I wanted to protect from this abuse as well.
Yeah.
And we just went, no, I can't do it. So we went through a bit of a mediation process and all the rest of it. It failed dismally. He ended up following us, lived closer to us in Newcastle, than we
Newcastle than
did
in Tassie.
in Tassie. it was just a nightmare. But he's since passed away. But once the kids turned 18, it really settled down because there was none of that.
Yeah.
Unable to financially abuse me anymore, basically, or abuse me through government agencies like, Centrelink and child support and, all those kinds of things. So it was relentless.
Sorry.
It was really relentless for a very long time. And it had a big impact on us too.
Yeah. It's PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
How are the kids now? Have they worked with a therapist, or have you worked with a therapist? Has that sort of been something that you've
No, we
looked
have
into?
this saying in our house where you just, suppress, like it works really well. It doesn't.
And then like a pressure cooker, you explode.
Yeah, then pressure cooker, then you explain. No, actually, the kids have really flourished since their dad passed away. And that sounds heartless and terrible, but it's the truth. They have really flourished because there isn't that, dare I say it, manipulation and
shackles.
Exactly anymore. And also just playing us against him as well. So our relationship with the kids is much better than what it ever used to be. My daughter has had some therapy in the last 12, 18 months to try, and she had some EMDR therapy.
Sure.
Yeah, which she's found has been really, really,
absolutely.
really successful. So she has. The other two haven't. We'll see.
Have they met partners themselves, the three older kids? And
They off and on. Tanner, our middle one, who's expecting our first grandbaby.
Oh, how exciting.
September.
There you go.
I know.
I'm not ready to be called Pop though.
No.
You might get another name.
Yeah, you never
know?
know. We'll make it up. So, him and Erin are together. Darby, she's had a few serious relationships, but acknowledges that she's got issues she needs to work at to be able to do that. But she's a foster mum. So at the moment, she currently has 3 foster children in her care as a single woman. Yeah, she's amazing. She's so cool. And Mally, no, he doesn't have a partner, but Mally's a loose spirit. Like he lives in his van. And,
Is he number 3?
Yeah,
He's number
the
3,
third.
Amazing, the third child.
Yeah, it's so different. So different.
Wow.
Yeah.
how is that for you, Neville? How did you deal with the abuse for yourself? You're seeing your beloved wife, the kids in some way involved. I mean, what role did you take?
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Well, it was very hard because things like that get dealt differently in India, whereas here you have to play it by the rules.
Sure.
And that sounds harsh.
They're not played by the rules in
No,
India?
as in people tend to take things into their own hands. So when you see a loved one getting hurt, you want to take matters into your own hands.
So a
But-
cricket bat might turn into something
cricket bat,
else.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And especially when I witnessed it, like personally, a couple of times, and I had to sort of restrain myself because usually I'm very placid. But then when I see something like that, I just go from 0 to 100 very quickly. So it was hard. It was hard on our relationship. We went through tough periods. It was also tough on the relationship I had with Darby, Tanner, and Mally. I went from being a single guy to being a dad virtually overnight. Darby was 8 at the time, 8, 6, and 3.
Yeah.
So, I had to work hard to sort of gain their trust, and you had the usual, the boss of me and things like that.
And it was always being undermined as well, which
Yeah.
made it
Yeah.
really tricky. So, you take 5 steps forward and 10 back, and it was tricky.
And I come from a background where corporal punishment and, it's like very hierarchical. As in some ways, you respect your parents, etc., but there's no back chat at all allowed. So coming into that in a different environment, it became very difficult for me to try and work through that.
I mean, it's not easy. Step kids are not easy anyway,
no.
But it's loaded more for you. So
Yeah, and culturally loaded as
Sure,
well.
yeah.
It was not only was it loaded from the influence we were having, but also it was really difficult for Neville culturally because even he would see our kids come home and watch telly or play outside or do whatever, and Neville's like, why are they not studying?
Because
Why are they not studying?
growing up in India,
You didn't do
you don't
that.
have much free time because education is such an important part of your life. You finish school, come home, eat, have rest, and then it's on your books.
Yeah.
till
It's
about
just-
9 o'clock at night, have dinner, go to bed, repeat the next day.
I mean, it's so competitive in here too. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
population's so
Yeah.
huge. You have to be at the top of your game in order to be successful. Whereas
Yeah.
here, you know, where we, I guess,
Have a life.
yeah, we have a life. And
And I imagine that there's a balance between that. It's like
Definitely.
absolutely hit
Yeah.
the books and find balance and have a
Yeah.
life and play.
Yeah, because I was at the other extreme
Got it.
where it was sort of survival in the sense that, okay, you need to make it to the next grade. You don't go to the next grade until you pass your exams. So
Okay.
even here, like kids progress from one grade to the
Absolutely.
next.
Yeah.
Whereas I had to go through exams from grade 1 that you didn't, you sat your exams and you progressed to 2, 3, 4, etc. And then, but if you fail, you stay back.
Yeah. Neville, you must have had to rely on or employ a massive amount of acceptance.
Yeah.
And was that part of your makeup before you guys met? Or was that something you just had to develop?
I had to develop that because it was a completely different life. Like after meeting Steph and getting immersed in a different cultural life, so to speak, it took me a long time to the point that now, recently Noah came home from school and said, I hate school, I don't like the subject, etc. Year 11, pressure gets added on. And once upon a time, I would have flipped and said, no, you go to school, you have to pass year 11, pass 12, university, etc., etc. But it didn't bother me. And we just said, okay, there are other avenues. Yeah.
he got over it.
Well
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who got over it, Neville or Noah?
No,
Noah got
Noah.
over it. It was just, you know,
Um,
that like the first couple of months of year 11 where they really apply the pressure and they
Yes.
tell you need
Yeah.
to be serious. And he was like, whoa, man, this is scary. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of settled down. A
Whereas
bit
we
now.
have that pressure right from when we were young.
Sure.
Yeah.
Noah has a really strong work ethic too. So he tries to work, 25, 30 hours a week at his part-time job as well as going to school and, which is okay when
And
you're
soccer
in grade
training.
10 and soccer and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just had to learn to adjust his life a little
What
bit.
does he want to do when he graduates? Has he
He
got
has
any
no
thoughts?
idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
He wants to. He's taken subjects that it gives him options. So we'll see.
Yeah,
He wants
great.
to travel though. Like I think he wants to have a year off and go traveling.
So you went through this awful time.
Mm.
Often that's where we get a lot of our wisdom. You don't sort of learn a lot when things are really shiny and bright and successful. You learn when it's in its toughest about things like what you've been through. What's the wisdom that you take from those tough times and that you can employ in your relationship today?
It's not so much in my relationship, but I think my outside my life, something that I have learned is I just don't accept what's not acceptable to me. I have limits and boundaries. They're pretty firm. They're pretty strong. And I'll walk away. Like I won't make a fuss, but I will just walk away from things. And I've had to do that, I guess, professionally as well a few times, since I've been on this road, with different things that have come and gone. But yeah, I think that's probably, I won't be treated badly by anybody. Whereas when I was younger, my ex was he was 10 years older than me and we met when I was 16. So I always felt I didn't have that power in that relationship. So I've very definitely taken that power back.
How do you protect your private life? I mean, you are a public person, but how do you protect yourself from, I don't know if you get trolled ever, but, what do you do to put in place there for protection?
I haven't actually found I've needed to
Oh,
be
that's
honest.
good.
I have such a great community.
Yeah.
If I get trolled, my community come after them and eat them
Yeah.
alive. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
I just do not need to say
I think in the
anything.
beginning, when you were still building your base, it was hard. You used to get trolled.
I used to get trolled
Yeah.
a bit, like probably in the beginning. I'd get on the wrong side of TikTok, and you go,
Right.
"Whoa!" Like anything over 1 million views on TikTok, you are definitely going on the wrong side of TikTok, and people come for you and have all sorts of opinions.
Yeah.
You just learn not to read it and not
Yeah.
to take it personally. Really, that's kind of what I do. But as far as outside of social media, I don't know. I'm a bit of a open book, really. I don't really find it necessary to hide who I am and what I do. I think because I try to be, I feel like I am authentic, and I think that's part of the reason why people like what I do is because I am authentic, and I'm happy to give of myself. So I don't really find I have to put up those boundaries, really.
Yeah. How did you feel being invited back to the second go-round?
Yeah, it was a bit wild, actually.
Okay, let's hear. We like wild. Wild's good.
The first time round was, so when I went on MasterChef the first time, I actually quit my job. I had a great job, paid really, really well, amazing conditions, all the rest of it, and I quit to go on MasterChef. I didn't have to, but I knew, like, line in the sand, this is it. I'm changing my life because I was 46, and if I didn't do then, I was going to die in that chair, and it was slowly eating my soul. So just went right.
What was the job?
I was a HR manager for the Department of Human Services. So, yeah, so it was a fairly serious kind of job, I guess you would say.
Very intense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, which, I liked it. But I knew it wasn't what I was destined to do or destined to be. So the first round of MasterChef, there was so much writing on it, because this was going to change my life. That was what I wasn't going back to that. So when I came 12th, I was like, oh my God, I was devastated because that wasn't part of the plan, really. But anyway, I came out and I worked at it, and here I am now, and everything's great now. Everything's worked out really well. When I was asked to go back in this time, it was like, firstly, I had unfinished business.
And you are back to win, as the name says, right?
Unfinished business. But also probably unfinished business, not so much as far as winning, but I really wanted to enjoy it this time because last time there was so much riding on it. There was so much pressure on myself. Nobody else did it but me. I wanted to go in and actually enjoy it and have fun. And I really wanted my followers to enjoy that as well. Like, I'm really excited for them to come along with me on this. A lot of people didn't even know that I had been on MasterChef before. So it's been really fun going through that already. So when it starts to show on air, it's going to be really cool.
Now, you're launching is it your second or third cookbook now?
It's my second.
Second cookbook.
Second book.
Easy Dinner Queen.
Yes.
I love
Queen.
that.
Fellow queen.
Love it. Tell us about Easy Dinner Queen.
Easy Dinner Queen. So this is the book that I wanted to write first off, but I didn't kind of have the power to choose that for myself. When your first book, I didn't have as many followers as I do now.
How many do you have?
About 3 million altogether. Yeah,
it's
pretty wild, isn't it?
Are they? Is it international or just the 3 million Aussies? You reckon?
No. It's international. I have about 45% are Australian.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
A lot overseas, though.
Yeah, a lot overseas as well. Yeah, so they asked me to write the air fry book because I was doing a lot of air fryer content back then. It was really hot, so that's why I did Air Fryer Queen first. But my followers were really asking for this Easy Dinner Queen. They wanted, the really simple, easy stuff, minimal ingredients, one pan, tray bake kind of things. Yeah. So this is the one that I really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to have this book because we do a lot of tray baking. Do you guys split the cooking up, by the way?
No,
I'm not allowed.
Nope.
I genuinely, cooking dinner is my favourite part of the day.
Oh, that's
okay.
Yeah, so it's like
I do love to cook.
Yeah,
but
sometimes on a Sunday I'll let him cook.
Yeah.
If I'm hungover and I can't be bothered.
The easier the better for us in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Simpler the better.
Yeah. So my followers love anything that's in one pan.
Yeah.
Or, pop it on a tray in the oven, slow cooker, those kinds of things.
Yeah. Have you got slow cookers in this one?
Yeah, so I've got 4 chapters in the book. One is one pan, one is tray bakes, one is slow cooker, and the other one is one bowl. So that's sweets and treats that you make with one bowl.
I love your catchphrase as well, that food should be fun, not fussy.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Have you made
It should be.
t-shirts?
Absolutely. No, I should, shouldn't I? My God, what's
There you go. You've got
happening?
an idea.
we need
Yeah.
kitchenware.
You
with
just
it
see it
on
fun,
there.
not fussy.
Fussy, yeah. absolutely.
Aprons.
Yeah,
Come on,
definitely.
Steph.
I know.
Oh.
But where do you do this stuff? Like, I have so many ideas of stuff that I want to do. I've just got no time. It's crazy.
Would you love to have your own range of spices or that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Like, it's all like I have a list, you
Sure.
know, I have a list of things, and it's just actually the next thing, which I have literally just started in the last couple of weeks, is we're creating a meal plan. So a
great.
subscription meal plan. So it probably won't be out until July because we need about 3 months worth of content
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Yeah, so it'll just be 5 weeknight dinners and one little sweet treat, and we'll send it to you once a week. It'll have a shopping list. It'll be quick, simple, all like my other dishes.
great.
Yeah, it's just something people have been asking for, and I think that's something that we can do.
Yeah. How do you support Steph when she's in the midst of all this creativity and running here, there, and
I
everywhere?
hide.
Gee, you're doing well for your first podcast. You are nailing this, mate.
He speaks the truth.
Yeah, because I'll come home and I look at it. Steph will be in the kitchen cooking, and I say, "Do you need a hand?" I know the answer,
Yeah.
but I have to ask.
Do you do the cleaning? Are you the?
No, Noah does the cleaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
his
sit on the
job.
couch, watch telly, eat, and then
Or
go-
on the computer watching YouTube
no,
videos?
no, that's on the telly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After I go to bed, YouTube comes on, and it's
Yeah.
like scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No,
Whole different ways of viewing things. People go, "We're going to make this into a TV show." I'm like, "No, maybe we just put it on YouTube."
push it on
yeah.
playback. Yeah.
We've got all these subscriptions, but I end up watching YouTube.
No, Nev is supportive. He does support me a lot. I think, you know, if I'm going, like, coming down to do the morning show or sunrise or something,
Yeah.
you know, like, he does things like, you know, carries my boxes down to the car and helps me
Oh.
do things like that. You know, he fills up my car with petrol. Even just a coming words or something like that.
Yes.
Because, like, I get a bit frantic sometimes as well. So.
Yeah.
In that frantic, when you go and do a morning show, do you get nervous or anxious about those sort of things?
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore?
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Why
not
do you think
anymore.
that is?
I don't know. I just think I'm comfortable in front of the camera now.
Mm.
It just feels normal now. It's not
Yeah.
something that I'm concerned about anymore.
I find when I am, and you mentioned it before, when I'm connected to my joy of what I'm doing and also being grateful for that opportunity of doing it, that the nerves and anxiety that I would feel are way less.
Actually, that's really interesting that you say that because I hadn't really thought about it until you just said that, and I feel like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and I like what I do. So yeah, that's probably why the nerves aren't there like they used to be. Yeah. And also the hosts, I mean, their job is to make you feel comfortable, right? And they're
Sure.
so good at what they do.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so good at what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he had great training with MasterChef, as in, you know, it was intense in
Yeah.
front of cameras and having to perform. And
Yeah, that first time was
Sure.
very intimidating. But also MasterChef is a great training ground.
Mm.
So it's really like very, very intense. But you actually learn a lot about being in the media industry while you're there, you know, about
Yes.
how to answer
Yeah.
questions
Yep.
and having a camera in your face. And like, honestly, they said if you don't give it to us, we're just going to keep asking. So you learn really quickly how to answer so they get out of your head so you can
Yeah.
get cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and also like moments, like, you know, if there's a moment that is going to be good for the camera, you'll just look over the camera and go, "Do you want to film this?" And go, "Oh yeah," and they'll come over and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
when you're opening the oven door or whatever, just
Yeah.
because they'll look after you if you look after them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would that be the advice that you would give any MasterChef contestant
Oh
coming
yeah,
in?
absolutely, and also cook 2 dishes. So one for the judges to try when it's warm and delicious, and one for them to try when it's not quite so warm and
Yes.
delicious.
I've
Because they try all the
always
food
wondered
cold.
about
yeah.
that. I know. And if you're like number 12 to be
Yes.
trying the food, like it's been sitting there that whole time.
Yeah, it has. So yeah, you just do a little sneaky and
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
samples.
okay. Right.
Yeah.
So that's not
Got it.
something that's told, like if you're a rookie on that show, you just cook one dish and then that's
Yeah.
the one that they're going to photograph and it's going to get cold while that
Yeah.
happens and then they've got to they've
Yeah.
got to taste that.
Yeah.
The
So
cold ones, you do the
yeah,
two. That's
yeah.
there
Yeah.
you
So
go.
everybody who is back to win this year, that won't be an advantage because everybody will know.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody will be onto it.
I think you should ask her favourite dish. Or would you like me to tell you?
What's the
what's
favourite
that?
dish?
I don't
Not
know.
dish, thing to eat. Croissants.
You're a jerk. You're such a jerk. That's how I got eliminated on MasterChef.
Oh, no,
Was
was
What? You made a croissant and it didn't go so
do you
well?
know loon? Do you have you had a loon croissant?
No.
Oh, so they're
Well,
this
yeah.
amazing croissant house in Melbourne. They're in Sydney too now.
Okay,
actually.
I have just heard about these.
Yeah.
Someone was
My
telling
wife
me
OD.
about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's so
yeah.
funny.
And
So
so
it's-
you went to make one of those
Yeah, I had to
croissants?
make this loon croissant. It was like, at the time, it was the longest MasterChef challenge ever. It was over 2 days.
Oh, wow.
I was nailing it until 6 minutes before the end of the challenge.
No.
And
What
I
happened?
made one mistake. Look, all I did was,
You opened the
oh
oven.
my God. So you had to, it was full of, the croissant was full of frangipane. So after you had baked the croissant, you had to fill it with this chocolate frangipane, right? So you had to put it back in the oven, and you had to put it back in the oven separate. So the top here and the base here. And I just missed that step and I put them together.
Oh.
So the middle didn't cook as well as what it could have.
Oh. I know. Do you
The
still eat?
life goes on.
Do you still eat croissants, or are they
now. It took
banned?
me
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
I love bringing that up.
So you can see
Again, you are doing so well today.
stab my heart.
Okay.
So you did-
If your partner was a dish, what
I
would
thought you
they
were going
be?
to say something else. Your
What
partner
would they
was a-
be? And okay, what dish would Steph be, Neville, if she
This
was
will
a
be
dish?
interesting. Let's see.
Well, a Black Forest cake
Ooh, why? Why black forest cake?
because it's delicious. It's my favorite thing to eat when it comes to sweets. And then a vindaloo.
A vindaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little
Is that
bit-
how you say it? Vindaloo?
Vindaloo, yeah.
We say it all the whole wrong way in
Oh.
Australia,
Yeah, we
don't
put
we?
the emphasis on a completely different
Yeah.
syllable.
Vindaloo.
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 I'm going to say that next time we order at an
Vindaloo.
Indian
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Vindaloo.
Yeah, and they'll go, "Oh, are you from Mumbai?"
No, we're from Goa, actually.
There you go.
How about you,
With
Steph?
Irish
What-
heritage.
Yes. What's Neville? What's he as a dish?
Oh, I'm going to say, let's call him a croissant.
Because you like to dip him.
Because
He's not cooked in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I want to
Well,
say
I'm a
because there's
bit fuzzy in the
layers.
middle.
I want to say because there's layers. Like I just
Oh,
think,
yeah.
yeah. Nev's one of those people that he's very actually quite quiet, but underneath that quiet, he's probably one of the most social people I know. Like he's the social calendar coordinator for all of our friends and Noah's soccer team and at work and everybody, and yet he's quiet and there's a lot underneath. Like it takes a bit of a while to get in there, but you peel off those
Yeah.
layers of that croissant and you get there eventually.
And they're really yummy
Yeah,
layers
yeah.
too.
I like to dip my croissant into a cappuccino.
Oh, do you? That's
I
very
do.
French of you, I
Yeah.
think,
It's
isn't it?
so good. It's so good. Question. Okay. If your children could learn one lesson from watching you two together, what would you hope that lesson is? Ali wrote it.
Yeah.
She's got all the good
Of course
ones.
she did.
What do you mean?
I think when I separated the first time, I looked around at all of the successful relationships that I had around me and really, really looked at what it was that made them successful. Well, not everything, obviously, but there was one core thing that I noticed with all of them, and that was that they were the opposite of each other. So I think if I could teach my kids one thing was don't look for someone that is you. Look for someone that complements you when you're looking for a partner. And I think that is a great springboard to start a relationship.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's great. How about for
Over
you,
to
Neville?
you.
Oh, me.
Nifty.
That's what they call him.
Yeah. I'd say patience as well. So opposites definitely, but patience because life will throw you curveballs sometimes
Endlessly.
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 And if you don't have that and sometimes a thick skin or learn to have a thick skin, then you'll just get swallowed up alive.
We do a thing called the pulse here on the heart of it. So we'd like you both to answer the same question.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? I think I know the answer to the first one. God.
So what brings you joy?
Food. And wine.
Yeah. The same.
Same.
We go out a lot,
Yeah.
far too much.
Yeah.
What do you miss when you're not together?
Conversation, I would say.
Yeah.
For me.
The same.
Yeah.
Time spent together, going out, having a chat. Because quite often what happens is when we are home, sit in front of the telly, have dinner, and watch a show and then it's bed. Whereas when you go out, it's an excuse to
Look at each other face to face.
Yeah.
face to face and
and-
have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talk for a solid 2 hours.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is there one time in your lives that you would like to revisit?
Ooh, the start.
The start.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. The start where...
Not do again, but revisit. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'd say revisit.
Revisit.
Mm.
Mm.
As in the emotions, the roller coaster
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
Was that a positive thing, or was that something?
No,
you
it
want
was-
to
it was
fix, or is
positive.
that something
Yeah.
you want to?
It was
okay,
positive.
Yeah, great.
The
It was
first
fun.
blush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was fun.
the-
We used to have so much fun.
When we got
didn't we?
married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're serious and
Yeah.
boring, aren't
We
we?
used to sneak away and go to Melbourne. for
Yeah.
weekends.
I remember we both have this amazing memory of this trip we went to Melbourne.
That's right.
We booked really cheap. This is when we were broke and, had 3 little kids, and it was, life wasn't easy back then. And we nearly cancelled them because we were so broke and we didn't really have enough money to go away to Melbourne. In the end, we went, right, well, let's go. And we had a budget of $20 a day. We went for a weekend, went for
Yeah.
3 days. We had a budget of $20 a day. Honestly, still to this day, the
We remember
best
that
weekend
holiday.
we've ever had.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
it was amazing.
We had to
found
be
all this
creative.
free stuff to do. and-
Time to
we even-
recreate, you two.
yeah,
It's
I
time
know.
to
We even
recreate.
crashed this
It was an art exhibition.
exhibition, and it was invitation, and we crashed it.
Well done.
We had dinner there. We got drunk on the champagne. It was the best.
That's so cool.
Isn't that
So
good?
are you revisiting that too?
Yeah. That was the best. Yeah, I have just revisited it, haven't I?
Got
I
it.
need to do that again.
Oh, wouldn't it? That $20 wouldn't cover a croissant and a
No,
coffee the
no.
following morning.
No.
Yeah,
Puts
that
you
would
through
be,
your
we need to be
hangover.
a
Probably
little
need
bit
to
harder
triple it
pressed.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Two
exactly.
coffees is $11 now.
Yeah.
Right.
At the uni anyway.
Alrighty, one word to describe each other.
Giving.
Giving? Mm. Oh, I'm stuck. I can't think of. There's so many words in my head.
You can have more than one if you need
Can
it.
I? Yeah, thank you.
Does it end in wit?
No. No, it doesn't end in wit. Today maybe it does. But I want to say maybe a little bit mysterious, I think, is what I want to say for Nev. Yeah, you never quite know what's under there, what's going on, and it's always like an interesting conversation and an interesting opinion or something like that.
Yeah.
So your word would be
Mysterious.
Mysterio.
Ooh.
Isn't there a superhero, Mysterio?
Mysterio.
There you go.
Nerds unite.
Neville knew
Chalk
it.
and Nev's language. Yeah.
Well, Neville and Steph, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with everything
Yeah.
that's coming up
Thank
for
you.
you.
Yes.
That's so exciting, and we can follow you on Instagram. You're all over the place, so we can buy your book. So we can get more of Steph.
And we can eat the cookies.
Yes.
Enjoy the cookies.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
It's been
you.
lovely.
Thanks for
It's been
having us.
lovely.
Thank
Thank you.